Welcome back to Grand Adventure. I'm your host, Mark Guido, and in this episode, we're camped in a boondocking site right beside the Little North Fork Coeur d'Alene River in Idaho Panhandle National Forest. From our campsite here, we'll bring you to Lake Coeur d'Alene in the city of Coeur d'Alene and explore some of the nearby Silver Valley's extensive mining history. We'll even journey all the way right to the center of the universe. That's a whole lot of content for one grand adventure, so stay tuned. This episode of Grand Adventure is sponsored by the Dirt Pro. Find the campsite that's right for you, either on the web or in their #1 ranked mobile apps. Get extra features and functionality with an annual membership to the Dirt Pro. Try it all for free for 30 days with the promo code GRANDADVENTURE. These are the Coeur d'Alene Mountains, the northwesternmost portion of the Bitterroot Range of the Rocky Mountains. Large portions of these mountains are roadless, but our camp is situated in a valley at an elevation of 2,600 feet, 16 miles up a dirt road that follows the Little North Fork Coeur d'Alene River. We're still traveling with our friends Ed and Ann from the YouTube channel Homie at Large, and our mutual Texan friends Daryl and Jane have opted to join us. The proximity of the river's cool, crystal clear water gives us ample opportunity to kick up our feet and relax, as temperatures are beginning to rise in mid-July. I mentioned that our campsite is 16 miles up a dirt road. The road itself is well graded, and aside from a few narrower sections like this one, it's plenty wide enough for two RVs to pass one another in opposite directions. It is, however, the dustiest road that I can recall driving in a good long time. If you like to boondock like we do, You're going to love the Dirt's Pro Map features like public land boundaries and cell service map layers. Our great adventurers can try all of the Dirt's Pro features, including also nearly 45,000 campground and boondocking sites all over the U.S., RV trip planning, and discounts on campgrounds and camping gear just by using the promo code GRANDADVENTURE. So what do you have to lose? Click the link below in the video description to try the Dirt Pro for free today. At the mouth of the valley we're camping in, the Little North Fork drains into the North Fork Coeur d'Alene River. A few miles thereafter, the two forks of the Coeur d'Alene River join near Interstate 90. And 27 miles to the southwest of there, near the tiny community of Harrison, the river in turn drains into Lake Coeur d'Alene. Lake Coeur d'Alene, a natural but dam-controlled lake, spans 25 miles in length and ranges from 1 to 3 miles in width. It was formed roughly 15,000 years ago, when the Cordilleran ice sheet flowed south from Canada and dammed the Clark Fork River. The backfilled glacial Lake Missoula repeatedly broke through the ice dam, resulting in massive floods that carried with them sand, gravel, and boulders that in turn dammed the Coeur d'Alene and St. Joe rivers. Historically, the lake has been used to transport lumber for the timber industry in the early 20th century. Today, it's a popular tourist site for many people during the summer. On the east shore of the lake, Harrison was named for President Benjamin Harrison. The tiny hamlet was incorporated in 1899. It was once the largest city on Lake Coeur d'Alene, thanks to the development of 8 or more sawmills and box factories. Today, it's home to barely 200 people. At the lake's northern end, and 30 miles east of Spokane, Washington, sits the city of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Its roughly 50,000 residents refer to it just as CDA. After mining and subsequently timbering declined in the area, tourism took over after the Great Depression. Upstream of Lake Coeur d'Alene, the South Fork of the Coeur d'Alene River follows the Silver Valley for 40 miles through the Coeur d'Alene Mountains, from Lookout Pass along the Montana border in the east to 4th of July Pass at its western end. Numerous small towns span the valley, including Kellogg and Wallace, both part of the Coeur d'Alene mining district. Although miners were originally lured to the area by the promise of gold, the primary metals mined in the valley were silver, zinc, and lead. The region produced more silver than any other mining district in the United States. During the 1970s, nearly half of the nation's silver production came from the Silver Valley. While some limited mining still takes place here, mines largely shut down following the crash in silver prices in the early 1980s, and tourism took over. Kellogg is now home to Silver Mountain Ski Area, which also operates the largest indoor water park in Idaho. Completed in 2004, the Trail of the Coeur d'Alenes is a paved 72-mile bike path from Mullen at the eastern end of the Silver Valley to the south end of Lake Coeur d'Alene. A disaster at the Sunshine Mine in Kellogg on the day shift on the morning of May 2nd, 1972, resulted in the carbon monoxide poisoning deaths of 91 men. The mine was closed for 7 months after the fire, one of the worst mining disasters in American history and the worst disaster in Idaho history. Wallace is the principal town of the Coeur d'Alene Mining District. Civil War veteran Colonel William R. Wallace built a cabin here in 1884 and invested money to build access roads, put up lot fences, and make other improvements for incoming miners. Within a year or so, there was also a general store, a sawmill, hotel, and more. Wallace became well known for a permissive approach towards drinking, gambling, and decriminalized prostitution. From 1884 to 1891, illegal yet regulated brothel-based sex work openly flourished, and madams here were considered influential businesswomen, community leaders, and philanthropists. On September 25, 2004, Mayor Ron Garatone proclaimed Wallace to be the center of the universe. Specifically, this sewer access cover was declared to be the precise location of the center of the universe. Who knew that the very center of all space and time was located right here in the panhandle of northern Idaho? A few miles northeast of Wallace lies Burke, now a ghost town. By 1903, Burke Canyon was the most developed mining region in the Coeur d'Alene Mountains and was home to 7 dividend-paying mines. Burke's location within a narrow, 300-foot wide canyon resulted in several architectural oddities, including a hotel built above a 3-foot narrow-gauge railway and Canyon Creek, with the train track running through a portion of the hotel lobby. At the Frisco Mine, 1 mile south of Burke, several people lost their lives in a shooting war when replacement miners kept operations going during a labor strike in 1892. On the morning of July 11th that year, a gunfight here at the Frisco Mill inadvertently ignited a box of dynamite, causing the mill to explode and kill 6 people. Idaho Governor Frank Steunenberg declared martial law and sent the U.S. Army and National Guard into the canyon to keep the peace. During a similar labor confrontation in 1899, 250 Union members seized a train in Burke at gunpoint, and at each stop through Burke Canyon, more miners climbed aboard, what was then dubbed the Dynamite Express. When the train reached the Bunker Hill Mill in Kellogg, the miners then carried 3,000 pounds of dynamite into the mill and completely destroyed it. After several natural disasters, including fire, floods, and avalanches, in subsequent years of decline in the mid-20th century, Burke's mining operations finally ceased in 1991 with the closing of the Star Mine. Finally, at the western end of the Silver Valley, Old Mission State Park is home to the Mission of the Sacred Heart, also referred to as the Cataldo Mission. Built between 1850 and 1853, this mission to the Nez Perce and Flathead Indians, founded by the famed Belgian Catholic missionary Father Pierre-Jean de Smet, is the oldest standing building in Idaho. In sum, this has been a fascinating area to explore and a spectacular place to camp. But right now it's time for us to get packed up and hit the road because we are off next week to Glacier National Park. So if you're not yet a Grand Adventurer, this is the perfect time. Go smash that little red subscribe button right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. And ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss a grand adventure each and every Wednesday evening. We'd be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. Understand, it is extremely important to us that if you like this episode, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up down below. And while you're down below, you'll find the comments section, and we always love to hear from you after each grand adventure. So until next week from Glacier National Park, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.